So, good evening. It's Thursday, day for Shabbos. Tomorrow night, Friday. This week's Parsha is Parashas Vayeira. And we learn in this Parsha numerous things. Among them, the angel's visit to Abraham. We have Lot, the destruction of Sodom. And we have the Kedah by Abraham with Isaac, binding of Isaac, the mountain. And we see from the first 3 pages, which is the pages pages containing the 3 angels, visit 3 angels to Abraham, that many things from that story, for one, and 2, the first thing we learn from there is that an angel, how to greet a guest, how you should bring guests into your house, how you want to show respect to that guest. So we see that when Abraham was sitting down from his tent, he gets up and runs and greets the angels to welcome them. He goes out of his way to go to them, to bring them into him, to show them how much he cares to have them there, how much he appreciates them coming to visit him. So we see that. We see, one, you have to be eager to have guests. You want to have guests over your entire time, and you want to have visitors to you. So you want to greet them with everything you can. Excited to have the guest. Second thing is to learn is the order of how you should welcome guests into your house. And here in back in olden days, when Abraham's days, you would first welcome the guests in by offering them to wash their feet and their hands from the journey, so dust is not on their hands and feet. So Abraham goes and gets a pail and brings it out to the guests, the angels, to wash. He then gets a morsel of bread for each of them to have, and follow that he picks a calf from his herd, gives it to youngsters to go prepare it, and gets some milk and cream and to give them, the angels, to eat and drink. So we see that there. Second thing we see is that the angel's mission, an angel going to do one mission at a time. And because of this, God sent 3 angels and not 1. So we see 3 angels there to do 3 missions. But in actuality, 2 of the angels out of 3 are there to do 2 missions. So we see kind of a focus here and what's being said in the Torah about angels in the job. One saying that, here's one point saying that angels can only have to do 1 job at a time. On the other hand, is saying that they can do 2 jobs, but let's see 2 different missions that they're doing, not at the same time. And you're going to do 1 mission at a time. So 2 angels are doing 1 mission now with Abraham, and then do another one with Sodom and Lot later on in their time after they leave Abraham. So we see there that that's how they can go about doing 2 missions instead of 1. So we see that the angels, they come there and they bring news to Abraham and Sarah, that the first one brings news to Sarah about Isaac's birth, that a year from now, from that time, they'll have a child, at which point Sarah, hearing this, laughs to herself and says, how can I have a child? I'm so old. Now that I'm wrinkled, I'm going to become pretty again and have a kid. She and Abraham are in their 90s, approximately. She also mentions her husband Abraham, who she says that Abraham, my husband, is also old. And we see God mentions this to Abraham and says, why did Sarah laugh? Here's a mention from close of old, and Hashem does not mention to Abraham that Sarah mentioned him also. So we see the kind of respect that you want to have. Is it disrespectful of Sarah to think that Abraham's old, and you don't want your spouse to think that you think they're old. You want to think that they think of you the same way they did back when they first met you, back when you were a young person. So you see God considering this news from Abraham. The second angel is there to destroy Sodom, and wants to hear Abraham. Abraham is visited. The visit of the angels comes days after Abraham's circumcision, the bris milah, that God told Abraham to do himself at 90, I believe 97 years old. Abraham does a circumcision on himself. And we see there from to the Akedah, and then in the Parasha, where Abraham binds Isaac and circumcision. Isaac is 46, I believe, at the time of this happening. If I'm not mistaken, could be wrong. Don't quote me on this. But he's at a later date in life where he's having a circumcision, I believe. So we learn that from there. And we see that Abraham visits him where he walks him out, which is the custom now among Jews and Orthodox Jews in Shabbos homes. When you go to someone's guest for Shabbos, you go just be a guest at someone's house. You see the host is going to walk you out to the door, fulfilling a mitzvah. It's a mitzvah to welcome somebody in and to keep them there and to welcome them and exhort them out. You're excited to have guests. Your mission is to have guests come to your house, and you want to have a guest in your house. So you go and you have guests, and you bring them guests in, you welcome, you greet them eagerly, and you walk them out because you don't want them to leave. You want to linger with them a little longer, so you have them there, so you walk them out to be in the mitzvah, having guests. Now, we see Lot, when Lot greets the angels, he offers first a place to rest, and then he offers them to wash. The reason that it's brought down that he does this is because he's trying to protect them from the townspeople of Sodom, who would take advantage of them and do bad things to the angels who came to visit him. So he says, stay by me and then wash. That way the townspeople won't think you were here for 3 days' time when they come to see you tomorrow. But townspeople find out about it that night, that they're there, and go to him and start attacking. So we see in the third aliyot that the angels tell, one angel is there to destroy Sodom, the other one to get Lot out. Now Lot's not a good person per se, compared to the townspeople of Sodom. He's a good person, but compared to other people, he's not. So we see that he was saved, Lot saved by Abraham. Because of Abraham being his relative, he is saved. It's the only reason why. The angel says Lot is fleeing from Sodom. Do not look back. Do not turn around and get out of the plains. The plains is the plains of Jordan. You do not want to be in this area because this area is destroyed. If you turn around and see destruction, because you're not worthy of watching the destruction of this people, you yourself will be destroyed. Everything around you will be destroyed. You want to get out as fast as you can to get out. Now we see that the righteous will walk, the righteous will continue to strive. The sinners will fall. And we see in the Chidei Manaran, or in Nachman's teachings, in the first lesson, in the first chapter of lesson 2, it says, and when one rises, the other falls. It's in Rashi, Genesis 25:23. Thus the kingdom of evil falls and is nullified. As is written in Hosea 14:10, the ways of God are upright, the righteous walk in them, whereas the sinners stumble in them. That is a means of the ways of God, i.e. the Torah. Righteous who adhere to the kingdom of holiness are fortified and receive strength, whereas the sinners stumble in them. Corresponds to the kingdom of evil, i.e. the evil inclination, which falls and is humbled by means of the Torah, as above. So we see that the good inclination is the people righteous who follow in the kingdom of holiness, and we see the evil inclination is those who fall and correspond to the kingdom of evil, and they fall and stumble by means of Torah, the humble by means of Torah. And we see here that Abraham is a righteous person. He adheres to the kingdom of holiness. And we see Lot, who is not a righteous person and corresponds to the kingdom of evil. So we want to strive in all that we do to be like Abraham, a righteous person, to walk in the ways of God and be in the kingdom of Hashem, in the kingdom of holiness, not in the kingdom of evil. So my blessing to all of you watching this is that you will greet your guest as you want to be greeted, with eagerness, respect, honor, that you will have a house that will be open to such guests, holy guests, and that you will continue to walk in the ways of holiness, in the ways of God. Have a good Shabbos and a good weekend. See you next week.